All right, in this video, we're going to go through what it's like to live in the beautiful high desert community. This community is located right at the base of the Sandia Mountains. It's sandwiched in between Glenwood Hills, which we'll get to probably in a future video, and Sandia Heights, which was the most recent video we did. The real difference between high desert and Sandia Heights is that high desert is a master planned community. The master plan came out in 1991, houses started being built, and most of the homes are built between 2000 and 2010. So compared to Sandia Heights, where a lot of the homes were built in the 70s and 80s, and of course you have some newer construction there, but that's really the main difference. And when I talk about a master plan community, I think it's important to note that that really means that you have sidewalks, street lamps. It feels more like a planned community. You kind of have that infrastructure. You also have a park, tennis courts, and there's even at the very beginning of high desert some apartments, townhomes. And so it feels, I don't want to say a suburban feel because it's a higher end community, especially the wilderness sections and some of the like mountain highlands. When you get up into the windy roads closer to the base of the mountains, away from tramway, you get into the higher price points, more custom homes. But it has a similar feel to Sandia Heights, where it's at the base of the Sandia Mountains. You're connected to wildlife, to trails, everything that backing to wilderness and forest will offer, but feels a little bit more like a tighter knit community. Maybe they have little dog doo-doo bags lying around, and if your dog goes doo-doo, you'll want to make sure you pick that up, or you may get yelled at by somebody. There's also covenants in the neighborhood and HOA dues. The HOA dues vary from about $60 a month upwards or to above $100 a month, depending on if your little community has a gate and different types of security. And with that, the covenants require a natural color palette similar to Sandia Heights, where the color of your stucco, your house has to kind of fit in with nature. With that, high desert takes a little bit further. The plants, everything surrounding your home has to be a natural to the area, a Southwest plant. And so they have a list of plants that you're allowed to use, a list of stucco colors, roof colors. There's just some, if you don't like that control and that, we talk a lot about this in suburban communities, but people like that feeling of, uniformity and that everyone's kind of connected and moving together towards the same direction. Also with master plan community, it is a part of the city of Albuquerque, so different than Sandia Heights, where you're on community water and septic. You're on city water, city sewer, which I think is a huge plus, and all underground utilities, so you don't have power lines disrupting your views or getting in the way. I talked about the parks and trails. I talked about the things to do. School districts and crime, always do your research on, but definitely more desirable in terms of ratings and what you see online. Do your research there. Now, the majority of homes in high desert have a Pueblo revival or territorial style to them. There are some modern homes that you have a lot of glass to frame the views of both the city and the Sandia Mountains that are near you. But the average home is around 2,800 square feet. We're looking at about $305 per foot and an average of $865,000. The demand in high desert is really high because of the architecture, the quality of life, the school districts, and connection to nature with the trails. And so we're looking at about 30 days on market on average. And so if you're interested in the area, it's something that you'll probably want to move somewhat quickly depending on the price point. Obviously, the lower down in that price point, those houses sell a little bit quicker. There are $2 and $3 million sales in the high desert area. So grocery stores, there's an Albertsons right across from Tramway, a couple minutes away. Also Trader Joe's, 5-10 minutes away. Restaurants, there's everything nearby. If you head down Academy, there's the Greek restaurant Dorothea, there's the Cinnamon Sugar Spice, and then if you head down Paseo, Jinja, and all those restaurants that we have talked about in like the North Albuquerque Acres video. So, but one thing to think about And I think a lot of people compare the lifestyle of Sandia Heights high desert with Los Ranchos in terms of within the city of Albuquerque, Corrales, I should include in that. Those are probably the 4 areas that are the most desirable and I would say the highest end, the highest quality of lifestyle. High desert feels a little bit further away from like Nob Hill and the airport. Commute time similar to Sandia Heights down into those areas, Old Town, 20 minutes, whereas Los Ranchos, you're maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Corrales is also, I would say, similar, especially if you're on the very north end of Corrales, is about 20 to 25 minutes. So something to think of. Now, one thing I did miss in the Sandia Heights video was talking about the weather in Sandia Heights. So since you are a little bit higher elevation than the Rio Grande River Valley, you will get a little bit more moisture, more snow. It'll take a little bit longer for that snow to melt in the winter than down in the valley, and little bit cooler temperatures. So something to think of. Also, you're right against the base of the Sandia Mountains, right? So your exposure to nature and to weather is a little bit higher. I would say when it is windy, it's a little bit more windy because you get those canyon winds coming down. You also get water runoff. So even when high desert was developed, they developed it around the 4 sort of arroyos that naturally flow down from the Sandia Mountains. And so it's not a concern in terms of your house flooding or having moisture concerns there. But you're just, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that you are right against nature. It is at your doorstep, and you need to be mindful of what that's like in terms of mountain lions and deer and all the other wildlife that exists in that area. A huge pro of living in high desert is your ability to be right outside your door and right onto the Elena Gallegos trailhead. All of that is right there. And so you can be on a hike to the top of the mountains within 5 minutes out of your door. I think that covers everything about what it's like to live in the beautiful high desert community of Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you have any questions, concerns, give us a call. We'd love to go over that. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the next neighborhood video. Thank you so much for watching, like, and subscribing. Take care. I'm here with my great friend, Andy Slow. Andy, could you say hi to the camera for us, please? Okay. Andy decided to take the week off of work. Apparently he's retired and needs a vacation. And so while we're here working, he's out, who knows, doing what? Probably at the casino. But thanks a lot, Andy.